There are 7 secret missions in Pokemon TCG Pocket, one of which will give you Mew 3-star Immersive Art as a reward. Welcome back to another Pokemon TCG Pocket video, it's Brovinnie here. In today's video, we're going to cover the 7 secret missions that you can't normally see in the game, how to complete them, how to get Mew, and some tips I have for you guys in order to complete these missions with better odds. Firstly, just to clarify, there are 2 types of missions in this game. If we click the little mission button at the bottom right corner, there's the Dex missions, which will require you to complete a certain amount of the Dex in order to reward you with these items. The Emblem tickets are used to exchange for cosmetics. In the Emblem shop, you can get the Pikachu, Mewtwo, or Charizard coin. By the way, there's a hidden Trio Bird Zapdos Moltres Articuno emblem as well, which we'll cover in a moment. And then there's a second lot of missions called themed collections. So more accurately, these are just called themed collections, not to be confused with missions, but sometimes you'll hear me say missions anyway because they're under the missions tab. With themed collections, what you're trying to do is collect all of these cards in order to get this reward. For example, I'm missing Nidoking, I've got all of the other 5, and if I get Nidoking, I'll get this reward. If you scroll down on the theme collections, you'll see all the currently available visible theme collection missions. But unfortunately, not everything is shown here. There are 7 secret missions that aren't shown, which might explain why you've seen some people flex this card, yet you have no idea how to get it because it's not available in any of the packs. To show you all of the missions and their requirements, I've decided to use a website called PokemonZone.com. This one I find has the best visual guide in order to show you what you need and what you get. Once again, we're looking at the theme collections, and it'll tell you what cards you need in order to obtain the rewards. But if you scroll down to near the bottom, by the way, I'll leave a link in the description below. Side note, this is not a secret mission, but just make a mental note of this, the gym leaders of Kanto region, because it'll come up again. Second side note, this Snorlax theme collection have 4 cards that are artworks of the same place. I'm not sure why it took me so long to recognize this, but this setting for Snorlax is from one of the original games, and I only realized today that Venonat, Bellsprout, and Oddish are in the same artwork of Snorlax in their respective cards. Okay, so coming back to the theme collection, scroll all the way down towards the secret missions. And there are 7 of them, one of which is the same mission as what you saw earlier, the gym leaders of Kanto region, but of the 2-star trainer arts. And you'll need to collect every single one to complete this mission. Now, this is probably one of the harder missions to complete because if you remember from my offering rates video, you'll probably remember that Misty by itself, if you're hunting for a specific 2-star trainer art, is a 1 in 383 pack chance to get, which is harder to get than Charizard EX or Pikachu EX or Mewtwo EX. And it's not because 2-star cards are rarer, it's because there are so many 2-star cards. In combination of their naturally low rate of appearing, getting a specific card in a pack is very difficult. Thankfully, 2-star arts can show up in Wonder Picks. So if you do see 2-star arts, especially the trainer ones, it may be worth you Wonder Picking it. The same cannot be said about the 2-star Charizard EX, because this card is not in any of the secret missions. So if you were to ask me, I'd prefer to just get the Crown Rare or the Immersive Art as opposed to the 2-star art for Charizard. Just to show you guys where you can pull each of the trainer arts, Erika is in Charizard packs, Misty is in Pikachu, Blaine is in Charizard, Koga is in Mewtwo, Giovanni's in Mewtwo, Brock's in Pikachu, Sabrina's in Charizard, and Lieutenant Surge is in Pikachu. So of the 8 trainer arts, 3 of them are in Pikachu packs, 3 of them are in Charizard packs, and 2 of them are in Mewtwo packs. This here is Cerebi.net. If you need a link, I'll leave it in the description below as well. The second secret mission is called Genetic Apex Museum 1, Charizard. Why is it called Charizard? Well, all of these are 1-star arts from the Charizard packs. So if you're like me, you've already collected your chase card, the Immersive Charizard, or even a Crown Rare Charizard, and you haven't been opening Charizard packs, you might be very far away from completing this mission. The mission rewards you with some Hourglass and some shop tickets. And my first tip for you guys is, after you've completed your chase cards for each of the packs, you've got what you really wanted already, it's time to go back to whichever pack you haven't opened a lot and you don't have a lot of the 1-star cards. I would recommend that you go to My Cards, sort your cards by rarity, scroll down to the 1-star cards and start checking off which ones you're missing. And whichever pack that you're missing the most 1-star arts, you should consider pulling those packs if you're looking to complete your secret missions. So let me just repeat that point again. In the first mission, we want to collect every trainer art. So of all the 2-star cards, we only want trainer cards for this secret mission. We don't need any of the other 2-star cards. I'm not saying they're bad, I'm just saying we don't need any of the other 2-star cards besides the legendary trios. But that's not the regular art, it's the alternative art of the legendary trio birds. We'll come back to that in a moment. Genetic Apex Museum 2 requires you to collect every single 1-star card in the Mewtwo packs. Genetic Apex Museum 3 requires you to collect every single 1-star card from the Pikachu packs. And in fact, there are 8 1-star cards in each of the 3 packs. So unlike 2 stars, you need every single 1-star card to complete the 3 secret missions. As for the 2-star cards besides trainer arts, we need these artworks for the legendary trio birds. In order to complete this mission, that besides giving you the Wonder Hourglass and the Pack Hourglass, it also gives you a legendary bird emblem. Now, I'm personally a big fan of these 3 birds arts, so I would be pulling for them anyway. So if you do see them in your Wonder Picks, it's a good idea to spend your stamina to get these cards. And on to how to get Mew. Unfortunately, I think there's just too many cards to show, that's why there's nothing shown here at all. You will need 1 card of every species from the Kanto region. Once you've collected 150 species of cards and you can check in your own account, the way to do that is to click this button here, which will show missing cards as well. Now, as far as I'm aware, you don't need every single card, you just need every single Pokemon or every single species. So you need Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, but you don't necessarily need every single Venusaur variant arts. I would suggest you go through your own list to see which Pokemon you're actually missing to complete this mission, which will give you this card. Now, you might remember me briefly saying to do all of this after you've completed your chase cards. But more specifically, you should try and get the Immersive Arts. Crown Arts are great, they're very rare, but you should get all 3 of the different Immersive Arts because along with Mew, you will be able to complete the final of the 7 missions called the Immersive 4, which will give you, once again, Hourglass, Pack Hourglass, and shop tickets. And it requires that you have 1 of each of these 4 cards. Now, I have one more tip for you guys. Any card that you are missing that you need, you should put a heart on it. Now, I don't actually need this Venusaur because I do have Venusaur EX, so that should count towards my Kanto Dex anyway to obtain Mew. But any card that I'm still currently missing, for example, I do have a Gloom as a 1-star art, but I do not have Vileplume. So I'm going to click the wish list button in the top right corner, and from now on, it will have a little heart icon whenever it shows up on Wonder Pick. So this is what it looks like if you've wish listed the card that you want. But a second thing to note is the game also tells you in the Wonder Pick whether you've already collected that card. For example, I've already got Helioptile, so there's a little icon here that shows that I've got it in my cards. But I do not have that icon for Magneton because I do not have that card. The difference between the heart and this icon though is that I might already have a 1-star Dragonite, so I don't want to heart a regular Dragonite even though I don't have this card, but I do not have any variants of Venomoth, so I do actually need this card to complete my Mew secret mission. So in this case, I actually prefer to pull Venomoth instead of Dragonite, despite not having either of these cards. And the final tip, I know I said that was the final tip, but the final tip is, in order to know which pack it's from, you just have to scroll down and you can see Vileplume is from Genetic Apex Charizard. You can compile a list for yourself to see how many cards that you still need to complete all of these secret missions and from which pack. Whichever one that you're missing the most cards from in total is probably worth you opening those packs and saving your wonder picks on the packs where you've almost completed the collection. For example, if all I'm missing is a 2-star Misty for my secret mission, but I've got everything else I need from the Pikachu packs, do not open any more Pikachu packs. Use your wonder pick, hope that Misty shows up at some point. Of course, this is just from a min-max perspective because who knows how long you have to wait before Misty actually shows up. I personally find 2 stars don't show up that often on my wonder picks. But if you were to try and pull these from wonder picks, that is why I made this video like twice to explain how unlikely it is for you to hunt a specific card. But of course, if you're a whale, go for it. It may be quicker to just spend your money as opposed to waiting for it to come up in your wonder picks. So I think by now you can all see that wonder pick is probably your most important resource in this game. So do not spend all of your hourglass right from the start of the game. So what I'm talking about is, we have the stamina, you should not let them fully charge, you should spend them as they come along. But the hourglass up here, they are a limited resource for a free-to-play, but not only that, they will allow you to pull cards you're missing with much better odds than 1 in 383. So save them for when you really need them, after you've pretty much done opening packs for the specific pack art, because you've collected pretty much everything else except that 1 or 2 cards. And if you made it this far into the video, I've got a secret mission I want to talk about. There is a mission, and I don't even know which category it falls into. It's called Register 226 cards in the Dex. Now, this is not usually visible in your missions tab. So it is a secret mission, but I don't know if this is a Dex mission or a themed collections mission. So I didn't include it in my first 7 secret missions of the themed collection. What you get from it is a Mewtwo profile icon, Charizard profile icon, and a Pikachu profile icon. The description is you gotta register 226 cards in the card Dex. But in another data mine source, it's called Register 1 cards in the card Dex. This is a little confusing because in Rainanix's data mine, it's not under themed collections. By the way, I'll also leave a link to this website so you guys can see for yourself. If you've actually completed this mission, let me know whether it falls under themed collection or Dex missions. According to Rainanix's data mine, it's under Dex missions. It's strange that they even have different names between the different websites. So why is this one a little confusing? Let's take a look at how you would actually complete this mission in order to get these profile icons. In order to complete that mission, turn on your missing cards in My Cards in your account, and you will need to complete every single missing card in your card Dex. Not just every species like the Mew mission requires. You need to complete every single card. But the reason why this is not the most important is because we don't need the super rare cards. We just need to fill the Dex all the way down to 226, and that's Lieutenant Surge, the 2 diamond form. You can see Lieutenant Surge is 226 out of 226. You need to complete every single Dex entry prior to this card. Anything subsequent to that doesn't count towards this card. And this is where Rainanix's website outshines all of the others that I know of. I've checked the Codex website, I've checked the Cerebi website, I've checked Pokemon Zone, and none of them accurately describes what you exactly need. Now, if we go to the Rainanix website under Mission Card Collection, and we turn on Secret Missions Only, you can see that for the Mew Card Secret Mission, and we click on the Mew Card Collection, there is something called Multiple Eligible versus Exact. Remember that Bulbasaur has a 1-star art. So if you click on this, you can have either regular Bulbasaur or the 1-star Bulbasaur For Venusaur, there's 3 cards you can collect for it to count towards 150 species in order to get this Mew card. That is not the same as this mission, which is register 1 cards in the card decks or 226 cards in the card decks. They have to be exactly Bulbasaur, Ivysaur, Venusaur, and the Venusaur EX, etc. all the way down to 226. You can scroll down and see for yourself, but it does not include any of the rare cards. So in other words, this is probably one of those missions that you'll probably just passively complete anyway without having to worry about min-maxing and so on, because these are relatively common pulls. If you're down to 1 or 2 last ones, maybe use your Wonder Pick to help pull them, because in a Wonder Pick that doesn't have any other rare cards, well, it will just cost you 1 stamina to get it. Hopefully that helped you guys in min-maxing this game. Let me know if you have any questions. Please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to my channel.